jurisdictions create regulatory burden. For instance, there are differences in sponsorship regimes between jurisdictions. For continuing education requirements, stakeholders also noted there are inconsistencies on the insurance side, although the regulatory burden associated with this is reduced by insurance regulators recognizing the requirements of the home jurisdiction when someone is also registered in another jurisdiction. Stakeholders also advised the committee that the lack of continuity between continuing education cycles creates an administrative burden. IROC's requirements are based on 3-year cycles, while under insurance requirements, the cycles are based on license periods that differ across jurisdictions. The committee's view was that CICERO is the appropriate organization to look at this issue further. Stakeholders didn't identify any other areas of conflict or undue burden. The committee concluded that it doesn't have to look further at this issue. The committee heard some anecdotal viewpoints, however, regarding dual licenses dropping their mutual fund license, but nothing that could pinpoint a clear trend as to the extent to which this is happening. We also heard that some advisors registered with IROC members were dropping their insurance license. Product knowledge is the second area that I'd like to share some feedback on. We asked stakeholders how appropriate product knowledge is ensured. It was clear from what we heard that product training is readily available for financial advisors. However, some participants in the consultation sessions acknowledged that some products are complex and not always fully understood by advisors. Complex products that are not fully understood and which may have unknown risks embedded in them was already an issue the Joint Forum had identified. And there is an initiative in the Forum's 2009-2012 strategic plan intending to examine the responsibilities of investment product manufacturers, intermediaries, and consumers in ensuring that consumers are offered suitable products and that they are able to make informed decisions. Hence, the committee is not looking at that issue further. Compliance monitoring is the third area for which I would like to share some feedback. The securities and insurance compliance regimes are structured differently. The MFDA and IROC have a 2-tier system for ensuring compliance involving branch and head office oversight. The MFDA and IROC exercise oversight by their members, including financial audits and sales practice audits. For life insurance intermediaries, life insurance companies are responsible for compliance monitoring under provincial regulations. CLHIA provided the committee with information on how this works in practice. Compliance requirements are built into contractual requirements, and issuers and insurers audit intermediaries on a risk-adjusted basis. We heard from stakeholders that intermediaries build one compliance regime to meet all regulatory requirements rather than separate practices, compliance practices for each set of intermediaries, for each set of requirements. This includes not only securities and insurance regulation, but other requirements such as federal anti-money laundering rules. The compliance monitoring approach for life insurance intermediaries has a number of advantages, including its principles-based and can accommodate the wide range of business models used by life insurers. However, the committee concluded that it's important for regulators to have a better understanding of the quality of life insurers' compliance monitoring practices. This conclusion doesn't imply the practices by insurers may be substandard, but only the importance of the need for regulators to improve their understanding of the actual system. The superintendents have initiated a project to this end. The project includes circulating a risk-based market conduct questionnaire to insurers and consultations with trade associations on the questionnaire feedback. This project is expected to be completed by the end of 2010. The theme of this session is the plight of the dual licensed financial advisor. As I noted earlier, the products sold by insurance and securities regulators are different, and there are justifications for differences in their regulatory regimes. Inevitably, advisors that choose to be dually licensed will face more requirements. However, excuse me. However, based on the experience of the committee's work, including consultations with Advocis and other stakeholders, there doesn't appear to be any conflicts between the regulatory requirements, and undue burden does not appear to have been a significant issue between the jurisdictions or between the regulatory schemes. Thank you for this opportunity to have talked to you. The full report of the committee will be released in 2010. Thank you.